Anna Hayes was 31 years old when her mother stood up at Easter dinner and announced, in front of 25 relatives, that she was the only Hayes child who couldn't keep a roof over her own head. The room had gone strangely quiet, and Anna remembered sitting there with a calm face even though her chest felt tight. Her father nodded along the way he always did, avoiding everyone's eyes. Her sister Megan leaned close and whispered, "You're jealous, aren't you?" Anna didn't answer. She only picked up her glass and smiled. But nothing about that moment was as simple as it looked. 2 weeks later, Anna invited Megan over for tea. She sent a simple message. "Saturday at 2. I want to show you something." When Megan arrived at the new address, she froze at the gate, staring at the large 2-story home as if it were a trick. She pulled out her phone with shaking hands and dialed their mother immediately. "Mom, you need to see this right now," she whispered. Anna watched from the doorway, calm and steady. That moment had taken 13 years to arrive, and she had no intention of rushing it. "Come inside," she said softly. Before all of this, Anna lived in a tiny studio in southeast Portland. It was 540 square feet, with one rattling window, a dripping faucet, and walls thin enough to hear a neighbor sneeze. She didn't hate the place. She told herself it was normal for someone starting life from zero. At 28, she worked as a cybersecurity analyst, earning just enough to survive and not a dollar more. Rice and frozen vegetables again, she would joke to herself. What she didn't tell anyone was that every grocery run required a calculator, and every month felt like a puzzle she had to solve. Her mother loved describing Anna's life at family gatherings. "She's doing that computer thing," she would say, waving her hand dramatically. "Very unstable field. I worry." What she never described was the reason Anna had student loans in the first place. When Anna was 18, 2 weeks before college, her mother sat her down with a sad, practiced voice. "Sweetheart, your college fund didn't survive the market. It's gone." Anna cried in her mother's arms, believing every word. The next morning, her mother helped her fill out loan forms like it was the most natural solution in the world. Meanwhile, her sister Megan bought a 4-bedroom house at 27. The family praised her endlessly. "She's always been smart with money," their mother bragged. Anna listened quietly, never asking how Megan afforded it so young. She assumed Megan had simply worked harder or saved smarter. She had no reason to suspect anything else. All of that changed with a single phone call from Uncle Ben one Tuesday night. When she answered, his voice was shaky. "Anna," he said, "I've been carrying a truth for too long. You deserve to know what really happened to your college fund." Anna sat on the floor of her studio that night, her laptop open and humming softly beside her. Uncle Ben's voice trembled through the phone as he said, "Your mother didn't lose the fund, Anna. She withdrew every dollar." Anna closed her eyes as he explained how he had stood in the bank the day her mother signed the papers. "I told her it was wrong," he added quietly. "She told me to mind my business." When he finished speaking, Anna whispered, "Where did the money go?" Uncle Ben hesitated before answering. 2 weeks later, Megan closed on her house. The room felt smaller as Anna lowered herself onto the cool tile. She didn't cry, not even a single tear. Instead, she went completely silent, as if something inside her had shut off. "I kept the statements," Uncle Ben said gently. "Whenever you're ready, they're yours." Anna thanked him with a voice she barely recognized. After they hung up, she lay on her back and stared at a water stain on the ceiling. By morning, she had run the numbers again and again, realizing the fund would have been worth far more today. That loss burned deeper than she expected. But what hurt most wasn't the missing money. It was the knowledge that confronting her mother would change nothing. Anna could picture it perfectly. Her mother shaking her head, calling Uncle Ben dramatic, insisting he misunderstood. Megan would jump in with, "Mom would never do that." Her father would sit quietly in his recliner, avoiding the argument like always. Within days, her mother would call the entire family, rewriting the story until Anna looked like the angry one. That image was enough to stop Anna from picking up the phone. Silence, she decided, was the only strategy left. At 2 in the morning, Anna opened her laptop and created a new spreadsheet. She typed 3 headers: income, savings, and target. The target number was large, larger than anything she had ever imagined for herself. "If I can't confront them," she whispered, "I'll build something they can't ignore." She adjusted her budget, raised her monthly savings, and cut every unnecessary expense. No eating out, no new clothes, no small comforts. She closed the laptop at 3:15, set her alarm for 6 and whispered, "This time I write the story." Then she finally let herself sleep. Her mother called that Sunday with her usual cheerful tone. "Sweetheart, Patrice knows a landlord with cheap units. Should I get the number?" Anna gripped the phone. "I'm not looking for a new place, Mom." Her mother paused. "Well, someone said your rent went up." "I didn't say that," Anna replied calmly. After the call ended, her Facebook notifications lit up with messages from relatives repeating her mother's version of her life. "Your mom said you're struggling," one cousin wrote. Anna stared at the screen for a long moment before opening her spreadsheet again. She raised the savings column higher. At work, there was only one person Anna trusted enough to ask for guidance: Diane Parker, the vice president of threat intelligence. Diane had sharp eyes, a silver bob, and the kind of confidence that filled a room without trying. Anna stood in her office doorway and asked quietly, "What does it take to move up here?" Diane lowered her glasses. "You already do the work. You need to stop being invisible." She slid a thick file toward Anna. "Take this project. It's messy, high pressure, and the last lead quit. But if you finish it well, people will notice." Anna accepted the challenge without hesitation. For months, she spent long nights writing reports, fixing configuration errors, and leading calls with frustrated clients. She survived on coffee and meal-prepped chicken, ignoring how tired she felt. Her mother still dismissed her job as that computer thing, but Anna stopped sharing anything that mattered. When she once mentioned a project win, her mother shifted the conversation to Megan's new patio furniture. So Anna stopped talking and nobody noticed. She focused on the project instead, determined to let her work speak where her family never listened. When the hospital audit shipped on time and under budget, the clients renewed their contract for 3 more years. Diane sent a short message. "Nice work. See me Monday." Anna spent the entire weekend worried she had done something wrong. But on Monday morning, Diane's expression softened. "You earned this," she said, handing Anna a letter. It was a promotion to team lead with a salary jump that almost made Anna sit down. She thanked Diane quietly, feeling something warm settle in her chest. It was the first recognition that felt real because it came from work, not family expectations. Christmas came and Megan hosted as usual. Her house smelled like cinnamon, new paint, and the faint sweetness of expensive candles. Megan greeted guests proudly, announcing the cost of her remodeled living room. Their mother gave long tours, saying, "Megan designed this herself," in a voice meant for applause. Anna stood near the drink table sipping water. "Still renting that little place?" her mother asked with practiced concern. Anna nodded. She didn't argue. She didn't defend herself. Todd, Megan's husband, passed her with 2 beers and whispered, "Your mom talks too much. Don't take it personally." It was the kindest thing she heard all night. In February, Anna received a cheerful voicemail from a stranger named Greg. "Your mom gave me your number," he said. "She said we'd make a great match. Call me back." Anna deleted the message and sighed. Minutes later, her mother texted, "Greg owns his home. He's perfect for you." Anna replied, "I didn't ask for a setup." Her mother responded, "You're 31. No house, no husband. I'm trying to help." Anna placed the phone face down and returned to debugging a server migration. Her mother measured life with outdated rulers, and Anna no longer intended to shrink herself to fit them. That same night, Anna finished the server migration with 0 downtime. Her team celebrated with a chain of party emojis, but Anna simply made tea and sat on her floor. She thought about Greg, about her mother's message, and about how little her family understood her life. Finally, she opened Zillow, not for romance or approval, but for herself. She whispered, "What if I stopped waiting?" Over the next few months, she quietly researched neighborhoods, mortgage rates, and long-term investment strategies. She didn't mention any of it to her family. Some victories needed to remain silent until the right moment. 6 months later, everything changed again. Diane promoted Anna to senior manager, raising her salary and handing her more responsibility than she'd ever held. The index fund she had fed for 2 years had nearly doubled. Each number in her spreadsheet began to shift in her favor. She spent her weekends driving through neighborhoods with coffee in her cup holder and her phone on silent. She wasn't searching for a house. She was searching for a feeling. When she found the hillside home in West Hills, she felt it instantly, a quiet certainty she had never felt before. The house had 4 bedrooms, a wraparound deck, and floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a valley filled with Douglas firs. The living room caught sunset light in warm copper and amber tones. The kitchen had space for 6 people without anyone feeling pushed aside. The listing price made Anna breathe slowly, but she ran the numbers 3 times. Her investments, salary, and savings aligned for the first time. She called the agent. She made an offer. 3 weeks later, she sat in a title office signing her name again and again until someone handed her the key that changed everything. Anna didn't announce the purchase. She didn't post pictures. She didn't call her family. She simply drove to her new house, unlocked the door, and stepped into a quiet that felt earned. The rooms echoed softly as she walked from space to space, imagining a life built entirely by her own decisions. She moved in with nothing but her clothes, her laptop, her books, and her old cast-iron skillet. She bought furniture slowly, choosing pieces that felt like they belonged to her story, not her mother's. For the first time in years, she felt completely in control. She invited only one person to see the house: Diane. When Diane arrived, she stepped inside, looked up at the vaulted ceiling, then out at the valley view. She let out a quiet breath. "This is stunning, Anna," she said. "Does your family know?" Anna shook her head. Diane studied her for a moment. "You're not hiding it to punish them. You're protecting yourself." Anna nodded but didn't explain further. After Diane left, she placed the deed in her desk drawer beside a sealed envelope from Uncle Ben. She wasn't ready to open it yet, but she knew she would soon. In March, Anna attended her niece Lily's 4th birthday at Megan's house. The backyard was full of relatives, cupcakes, and bright decorations. Anna handed Lily a stuffed elephant and a small card, earning a sweet hug before the child ran off again. Then Anna saw her mother introducing her to a group of book club friends. "This is Anna," she said proudly. "She's still finding her path." Anna forced a polite smile. "I'm a senior manager in cybersecurity, Mom." Her mother laughed lightly. "Oh, those tech titles change every week." Megan passed with cupcakes and added, "At least she's positive." Across the yard, Anna spotted Uncle Ben sitting quietly with a paper plate on his knee. She walked over and sat beside him. He nodded toward the envelope she still hadn't opened. "The bank statement is real, Anna. Her signature is right there." Anna swallowed. "I'll read it soon." Ben didn't push. "Take your time," he said. "Truth doesn't disappear." Across the yard, their mother noticed them talking. Her face tightened for a split second before she loudly announced a new story about Megan's backyard pergola. Anna said nothing, but she saw everything in that brief moment. That night, Anna returned to her quiet home and made chamomile tea. She sat at her kitchen table, the old maple one she'd bought at an estate sale, and finally opened the envelope. Inside lay the full bank statement from her childhood account. She read every line. Deposits made over the years. The balance reaching $42,000. Then a single withdrawal, her mother's signature beside the amount. Her chest tightened, but she didn't cry. She simply folded the paper again and placed it beside the deed. Then she called Uncle Ben and said, "I'm not going to yell. I'm going to be ready. Easter is 8 weeks away, Uncle Ben said. Megan's hosting again. Anna nodded even though he couldn't see her. I know. And I think that might be the right moment. Ben was silent for a second. If you need me there, I'll be there. Anna smiled faintly. I will. After they hung up, she washed her mug, dried it carefully, and set it in the cabinet. She walked through her home, listening to the quiet that felt strong instead of lonely. For the first time in years, she wasn't afraid of the next family gathering. She was prepared for it. Easter Sunday arrived crisp and bright. Megan's house looked like a magazine spread, decorated with pastel colors, fresh tulips, and a centerpiece of ceramic rabbits arranged perfectly on the dining table. Anna parked outside and took a deep breath before walking in. The house buzzed with relatives passing dishes and children running between rooms. Her mother spotted her quickly. Anna, you look thin. Are you eating? She announced loudly, turning to Aunt Patricia for agreement. Anna smiled calmly. Happy Easter, Mom. Her mother continued. Doesn't she look thin? Anna simply held her sparkling water and waited. Anna stood near the kitchen island while her mother continued giving dramatic tours of Megan's house. Megan chose this paint color herself, she announced proudly. These floors are original oak. She had them refinished. Every sentence felt rehearsed. Todd appeared beside Anna with a plate of deviled eggs and whispered, Brace yourself. Your mom's in performance mode today. Anna took an egg and nodded. I know, she whispered back. She's been practicing the toast since Thursday. Todd winced slightly. You'll see, he said before slipping back into the crowd. Dinner ended, and people drifted toward the living room with full plates and quiet chatter. Anna stood by the doorway when her mother stepped forward holding a wine glass like a microphone. I just want to say a few words, she began. She praised Megan's house again, telling everyone, this is what hard work looks like. The room clapped politely. Then her mother turned to Anna with a soft, condescending smile. We're all rooting for you, honey. One day you'll get there. Few people laughed awkwardly. Megan leaned closer and whispered, No shame in renting, Anna. Everyone starts somewhere. Aunt Patricia touched Anna's arm gently. Your mom told me you're looking for something cheaper, she said sweetly. I know a landlord in Milwaukee. The room fell quieter as people listened. Anna set her glass down and said calmly, I'm not looking for a cheaper place. Patricia smiled sadly. Oh, honey, there's no shame in needing help. Her mother added quickly. Her pride will be her downfall. Anna didn't argue. She simply stood still and let the moment breathe. She realized her mother had spent years shaping a version of her that everyone believed without question. 10 minutes later, Anna headed toward the coat closet, ready to leave. Megan intercepted her in the hallway, arms crossed and voice sharp. Honestly, Anna, are you jealous? Anna looked at her calmly. Jealous of what? Megan gestured around them with a sweeping motion. The house. The life. The stability. I worked for this. Anna held her gaze for 3 long seconds and replied softly. I'm sure you did. Something flickered across Megan's face. Confusion, then irritation. She walked away and said loudly to another cousin, Mom, Anna's being weird again. Their mother sighed from across the room. She's always been difficult. In the corner, Uncle Ben set his coffee cup down and watched the exchange carefully. His eyes shifted toward Anna's mother, and something silent passed between them. For the first time, Anna saw her mother flinch. She turned away quickly and began clearing plates as if nothing had happened. Anna slipped on her jacket and stepped back into the living room. Her mother was already announcing, Anna always leaves early. It's just her way. Anna paused at the doorway, then looked at Megan and said clearly, I'd love to have you over for tea this Saturday. I moved recently. The room stilled. The room shifted after Anna spoke. Her mother turned sharply. A new place, she asked. Anna nodded calmly. Nothing big. Just moved. I'll text Megan the address. Megan blinked, caught off guard. You moved and didn't tell anyone, she asked. Anna shrugged lightly. It happened fast. A few relatives whispered to each other, surprised. For the first time that evening, her mother didn't have a ready explanation. Anna thanked Megan for dinner, walked toward the front door, and stepped into the cool evening air. Behind her she heard only one voice, Uncle Ben quietly saying, "Good for her." Saturday arrived bright and calm. Anna spent the morning cleaning surfaces that were already spotless, needing something to keep her hands busy. She arranged 2 mugs on the kitchen counter and baked lemon blueberry scones, filling the house with a sweet, warm scent. At 1:45 Megan texted, "On my way. What's the address again?" When Anna sent it, Megan immediately replied, "West Hills. That's a nice area. Are you house-sitting?" Anna didn't answer. She placed her phone on the counter, smoothed her sweater, and sat quietly in the living room. Her hands were steady. She wasn't nervous anymore. At 2:03, Anna heard the crunch of gravel outside. Megan's SUV sat in the driveway with the engine still running. Megan didn't move at first. She stared at the house, stunned. When she finally stepped out, her purse hung limply from one hand as she whispered, "Anna, what is this?" Anna opened the front door. "Tea's ready," she said softly. Megan walked inside and stared at the vaulted ceiling, the staircase, the glass wall overlooking the valley. "You bought this," she breathed. Anna nodded. Megan turned in a slow circle, overwhelmed. Her hands trembled as she whispered, "How?" "I worked," Anna said gently. "I saved. I invested." Megan shook her head. "But you had student loans. You were renting." Anna poured tea into both mugs. "I was renting. Now I'm not." Megan stared at the view again, her face collapsing into confusion instead of anger. She reached for her phone with shaking fingers. "Mom needs to see this," she whispered. She dialed quickly. "Mom, you have to come right now." Anna set the scones on the table and said calmly, "Do you take sugar?" It felt surreal watching years of assumptions fall apart in less than 10 minutes. 19 minutes later, Anna heard hurried footsteps on the stone path. Megan opened the door before Anna reached it. Their mother stepped inside wearing a lavender cardigan and pearl earrings, clearly dressed for something else before rushing over. She stopped in the entryway, stunned into silence. What is this?" she asked. Anna answered softly, "My house. Welcome." Her mother walked slowly through the living room, touching the couch, the fireplace, the bookshelves, and finally the glass wall. "But how could you afford?" she began. Anna met her eyes. "I've been a senior director for a year, Mom." Her mother's face drained of color. "Senior director? Since when?" she asked. Anna answered calmly, "Since you stopped asking about my job." Her father stood quietly in the doorway, eyes red and unsure. Then he stepped forward and wrapped his arms around Anna, holding her tightly while her mother stood outside the embrace. "I'm proud of you," he whispered, voice shaking. It was the first time he had ever said those words to her. When he stepped back, Megan sat on the couch staring at the floor, and Anna's mother looked shaken for the first time in years. Megan finally lifted her head. "I don't understand," she said softly. "How did you save enough? You had loans." Anna answered gently, "Yes. And I still built this." Megan shook her head. "Mom told us both college funds were lost in the market." Anna took a breath. "Yours wasn't lost. Mine was." The room went still. Megan whispered, "What?" Anna walked to the table, opened the envelope, and placed the bank statement in the center. "Read it," she said. Megan picked it up slowly, eyes widening as she saw the withdrawal and her mother's signature beneath it. Before anyone could speak, Uncle Ben stepped through the front door. He wiped his boots and said, "Sorry I'm late. Traffic." Anna's mother froze when she saw him. He set a new envelope on the table. "I brought the original documents," he said. Anna laid them beside the first statement. Megan stared at her mother, voice trembling. "You told me it was your savings. You told me Harper's fund was gone." Their mother's jaw tightened. I did what was best, she insisted. Anna looked at her calmly. No, Mum. You did what was best for Megan, not for me. Her father sat heavily in a chair. You told me the fund performed badly, he whispered. Uncle Ben shook his head. She showed you a fake summary, Richard. The real record is right here. Megan covered her face with both hands, crying softly. I didn't know, she said. I should have asked. Anna nodded gently. Not asking isn't the same as not knowing. But now you do. Her mother tried one last time. After everything I've done for this family, Anna lifted a hand. Two things can be true, Mom. You raised me. And you stole from me. The room fell into a deep, painful silence. Anna breathed slowly and said, I'm not asking for the money back. I built this without it. She looked at all three of them, her mother, her father, and her sister. But I am asking you to stop rewriting my life. You don't get to tell the family who I am anymore. Her mother stared at the floor, too shaken to speak. Anna poured tea, set 2 mugs on the table, and added quietly, In this house you come as guests, not narrators. And for the first time her story finally belonged to her.